Basically, you could think of 2020 as, you know, a very crucial moment in time, like a crossroad in time. Like the middle of a cross, or the crossroad, the train tracks. Um, it's just a matter of whether we follow the changes in society. Rolled this so tight, I gotta fucking pull on it like I'm going to the electric chair. Or if we try to rebel against society, those are the two choices that, when we hear about the NWO, well, really, that's the same people who have been controlling it all from day one, all right? The 1,000 points of light, George Bush Senior speech. These are the same individuals are in control now that were in control then, and all this NWO talk, and Jesus is going to return talk, and then the alien invasion talk, and then World War III, and then whatever the talk may be, the same people are in power, and sooner or later you realize, well, it's time for me to live my life and do it the best I can. With that being said, the two main choices that they have now, your option is inclusion or seclusion. So you can go ahead and integrate yourself into this system, or you can try to be, off the grid, so to speak. Now, the problem is we're all still under this monetary system of using these bankers' money, The only way around that is if, like, you're bartering like the old days, like you're trading like this crop for that, I got, this harvest of raspberries for that weed plant right there, or whatever. But, like, other than that, everybody's under this monetary system. So even if you say, well, I'm not working for the corporate, beast, I got my own company and all that, and then you're still using the same money system. So that's one problem we have. But it all starts with the system. So again, it's not about riding the wave of the system, and then the system tells you, oh, you're so good for adapting. You adapted to the technology. You adapted so good. You're a real adaptable person. You're going to survive really well. You got the microchip. You did good. You were good. A smart, savvy person. Well, it really doesn't work like that. The one who is most adaptive to change, best responsive to change, is that individual who doesn't adapt to society, who can notice that, hey, this pattern's, not the way I want to go, and doesn't ride the wave, just kind of like dictates his own frequency, he rides the wave like kind of like a surfboarder would do, instead of being tossed to and fro like the waves, So that's where it is, and it all starts with the children, So these vaccines, make no mistake, they're lowering the IQ of our children, and then it makes it real hard. They have this foggy recollection of things, and just makes it so hard with no role models. First of all, the idea of a role model, we need to already get away from the way we traditionally looked at that, and all these heroes and all these authority figure role models, sports figures, and the favorite teacher and whatever. I mean, it's good to look up to people to an extent as an example, but to base our whole lives around living up to this ideal and being like my parents, and if I'm not like my parents, then I want to never be like my dad. I want to be nothing like my mom and dad, and then the reverse happens. You end up being just like them. Because the human mind is amazing the way it reflects itself. And you start to attract. Sometimes we're aggravated with something, and it's really a trait that's in us. So the reason that we're aggravated with a person, or the way they deliver something, it just rubs us wrong. Sometimes that's because of something we're still dealing with inside of us that we haven't resolved yet, believe it or not. So there's some truth to that when somebody says, oh, you're talking about yourself. You know, when you were talking about me, you were just talking about yourself. Sometimes that's true. So back to the children. You guys, back to the children. It is pretty cold out here, too, by the way, Carl. I'll say thanks everybody for joining me, too, I wanted to say, in this live. So back to these children. You're lowering their IQ, and then you're destroying the immune system of them that was going to naturally develop, you know. Listen, I wouldn't lie to you. You know, if you're curious about this stuff, just look into it yourself. Ask yourself these questions, and then you'll basically come up with the same conclusion that the way to strengthen a baby's immune system for life, not just while you're doing it in the first few years, but for their entire life, is breastfeeding and, you know, vegetables. Pretty common sense stuff. And that's how you strengthen their immune system, not by poisoning them. And, you know, that's the way real science works, you know. You see the results in life. And you don't have to be an expert, a doctor, and then feel like, oh, you're looking up to this person because they went to school for 7 years and you're just a nobody and don't know anybody, you know. But in reality, you know, if just a little common sense and goes a long way. So we got to look after these children. Give them a chance in life. Because we all have to look out for each other, you know. You know, and the mother and the father, they look after so much their career, and they're so caught up into being what a real man's supposed to do, and this is what a real woman's supposed to do, and then the children get left behind. And it should have never been revolving around the father, revolving around the mother, revolving around the son, which is the children, the daughter or the son. But the sun and the moon revolve around the sun. If you look at it like the North Star analogy, the sun and the moon rotate around it. So we should be rotating around the Holy Spirit, or the children, life itself, the light of the world, the children, the beginning and the end, you know, the the 1 and the 9. So that's it, you guys. I just wanted to touch on that. You know, vaccines lower IQs, and we don't want to ride the wave of society. You know, we just kind of want to dictate our own pattern through the wave. You know, that's true adaptability, to be able to not necessarily totally rebel and like go live in the woods, only if that's your true mission. That's making you happy, so to speak. Not rainbows and sunshine happy, but if that's part of your journey and your fulfillment, that type of happiness, the true form. So thanks again for watching, you guys. Have a great one.